When you stand in the presence of an object that ignores established laws of physics, the human brain struggles to process what it is seeing. It attempts to force the impossible into familiar categories just to maintain a sense of order. South of Area 51, a sub-facility known as S4 operates under a culture of total compartmentalization. It is a remote outpost in the Nevada desert, designed to keep individuals entirely isolated from the broader context of their work. Stepping off the blindingly bright desert floor and crossing the threshold into the hangars at S4 requires a total sensory adjustment. The interior of the facility is cavernous, heavy, and swallowed by oppressive darkness. Resting inside that void is a 52-foot metallic disc, nicknamed the Sport Model. It sits illuminated only by localized harsh halogen work lamps resting on the hangar floor, completely dwarfed by the sheer volume of the surrounding space. Confronted with the scale and silence of this machine, the observer's instinct is to search for a grounding mechanism, a familiar detail to prove that they are still standing on Earth inside a standard defense contract testing facility. S4 functions as a psychological containment unit. The corrugated walls, the extension cords, and the clearance badges all signal a conventional military setting, yet they surround a central presence that defies all earthly engineering. On the surface of the Sport Model, a single piece of adhesive provides a momentary anchor to reality, an American flag sticker. True to standard US military protocol, the flag is printed in reverse. It is oriented to represent the banner flying backward as the vehicle advances, a traditional emblem of forward momentum. Seeing that sticker triggers an immediate, comforting conclusion. The object, despite its unusual design, must be a highly classified aerospace project funded by the Department of Defense and manufactured by human hands. That reassuring narrative lasts only as long as it takes for someone to step closer to the hull. Terrestrial symbols serve as a temporary cognitive shield. Once the eye moves past the sticker and examines the physical construction of the craft itself, the mind is forced to abandon any assumption of human origin. The exterior of the disc is cast in a pewter-colored material, bearing a resemblance to liquid titanium. Yet its tactile properties differ drastically from known commercial aerospace alloys. Spanning the entire 52-foot diameter, there are no seams. There is a total absence of rivets, welds, bolts, or fastening joints of any kind. This unbroken continuity extends to the interior components. Internal pipes and structural pathways navigate sharp angles and complex bends continuously, lacking the distinct mechanical segments required in standard terrestrial plumbing and wiring. Observations of this pewter material indicate it can be compressed to occupy a smaller volume without buckling, creating seams, or altering its surface thickness, a physical behavior that contradicts the established limits of metallurgy. Instead of appearing as a vehicle assembled from thousands of distinct parts on a factory line, the structure presents itself as a single, contiguous object, almost as if it had been grown. The engineering bypasses the foundational human concept of piecemeal construction, pointing to a material science that operates on a completely different structural logic. Moving inside the craft introduces an intensely claustrophobic environment. This feeling is not driven by the physical dimensions of the cabin, but by how the space reacts to illumination. Technicians brought in industrial 1980s-era military halogen work lights to examine the internal components. Despite the extreme brightness of these bulbs, the interior remained cloaked in deep shadow. The space appeared to actively resist the light, leaving the environment unnaturally dark. The walls seemed to absorb the photons, trapping them upon impact. Rather than bouncing off the metallic curves and scattering through the 52-foot cabin, the light was simply eaten by the hull. This optical anomaly remained a subjective memory until recently, when visual effects artists attempted to digitally reconstruct the interior using standard 3D rendering software. This chart shows the standard lumens typically required to illuminate a digital space, compared to the extreme parameters needed for the S4 model. When applying faithful material properties to the CGI hull, the physics engine rendered the space too dark to see. It required an artificial 2,000% increase in light intensity just to make the interior visible on film. The reconstruction process also confirmed the practical necessity of running long extension cords across any inner floor, validating the original accounts of an interior entirely lacking built-in electrical nodes or wiring. The fact that modern rendering software struggles to simulate this environment mathematically suggests the sport model operates within an optical reality that human material science has not yet mapped. Stepping back out of the craft, the observer is returned to the dim, dusty glow of the halogen lamps. To stand alone in that hangar is to confront a profound sense of isolation. It is the sudden, stark realization that centuries of human scientific achievement have been eclipsed by a single, silent machine. The strict compartmentalization at S4 functions as a physical admission that we are incapable of processing this unified technology as anything other than fragmented, isolated parts. While researchers were forbidden from sharing data between departments, forcing propulsion teams and metallurgists to work in the dark, the machine itself was a masterpiece of total integration: propulsion, power, and structure, operating as a single, seamless system. The assignment at S4 reached past the scope of a military secret, forcing a direct confrontation with the limits of human intellectual capacity. Witnessing a reality that rewrites the boundaries of physics leaves a permanent psychological mark. The stress persists because the baseline for what is possible has shifted into a territory that human science cannot yet inhabit. As the hangar doors close and the facility recedes back into the shadows of the Nevada desert, the basic problem remains. Can an engineering culture built on distinct parts, joints, and fragmented disciplines ever decipher a technology that exists entirely without seams? Until we can grasp the physics of an object that consumes light and defies the very concept of manufacturing, we remain outsiders looking in at our own physical reality.